Your ego and your higher self are in a constant dance, shaping your reality in ways you might not even notice. Carl Jung's groundbreaking work on this inner dynamic can help you understand why you make certain choices and how to align with your true purpose. Have you ever felt like there's more to you than meets the eye? That's your higher self calling. Carl Jung, a revolutionary thinker who challenged traditional psychology, introduced us to this profound concept. He believed that beneath our everyday consciousness lies a hidden truth, a part of us connected to something far greater. Imagine uncovering a secret about yourself that could change everything. That's what we're exploring today. We'll dive into the surprising ways your ego and higher self interact, shaping your life's journey. Ready to discover the hidden dance within you? Hit that like button and subscribe to join us on this transformative adventure. The ego, your everyday navigator. Now picture this. You're the ship's captain, confidently steering through life's waters. But what if I told you that your trusty navigation system, your ego, is limiting your voyage? There's a whole ocean of potential beyond its familiar routes. Carl Jung, the revolutionary Swiss psychiatrist, had a fascinating perspective on the ego. He saw it as essential for our day-to-day functioning, much like a ship's captain is crucial for navigating the seas. But here's the catch. While the ego is necessary, it's also inherently limited. Think about it. How often have you made decisions based on fear or social expectations rather than what truly feels right? That's your ego at work. It's trained to keep you safe, fit in, and maintain the status quo. But in doing so, it might be holding you back from your true potential. Jung believed that the ego is shaped by our experiences, culture, and upbringing. It's like a lens through which we view the world. But this lens can become clouded, distorting our perception and limiting our choices. Have you ever felt stuck in a job you don't love or a relationship that doesn't fulfill you simply because it's what you're supposed to do? That's your ego prioritizing short-term comfort over long-term fulfillment. It's making decisions based on fear rather than growth. But here's where it gets interesting. Jung suggested that this inner conflict, the tension between what your ego wants and what your deeper self needs, is a sign of growth. It's your higher self trying to break through the limitations of your ego. Imagine you're at a crossroads in your career. Your ego might push you towards the safe option that guarantees a steady paycheck and social approval. But deep down, you feel a pull towards something riskier, something that aligns more with your passions. This inner struggle is your ego and your higher self in dialogue. Jung famously said, "Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." This quote encapsulates his belief in the importance of looking inward to connect with our true selves. But don't get me wrong, the ego isn't the villain in this story. It's a necessary part of our psyche, helping us navigate the complexities of daily life. The key is to recognize its limitations and learn to look beyond them. Think of your ego as a protective older sibling. It wants to keep you safe, but sometimes it can be overprotective, holding you back from experiences that could help you grow. The challenge is to appreciate its role while also learning to step outside its comfort zone. So, how do we begin to see beyond the ego's limited perspective? It starts with awareness. Notice when you're making decisions out of fear or social conditioning rather than genuine desire. Pay attention to those moments of inner conflict. They're often signposts pointing toward growth. The higher self, your inner compass. While awareness is the first step, something even more profound is at play. What if your ego isn't your true navigator, but merely a first mate? Imagine there's a wise captain within you, connected to an ocean of universal wisdom, quietly charting a course towards your ultimate destination. This wise captain is what Carl Jung called the higher self. It's a hidden part of you that knows your true purpose and is constantly trying to guide you towards it. Jung believed that beneath our everyday consciousness lies a deeper truth, a part of us connected to something far greater than our individual experiences. The higher self, according to Jung, acts as a bridge to what he termed the collective unconscious. Think of the collective unconscious as a vast library of human wisdom and experience, accumulated over generations. Your higher self has access to this library, allowing you to tap into universal insights and knowledge that go beyond your personal experiences. Have you ever experienced a moment of unexpected clarity or insight that seemed to come out of nowhere? Or perhaps you've had a gut feeling that turned out to be right, even when it didn't make logical sense at the time. These could be examples of your higher self at work, drawing on that universal wisdom to guide you. Jung also introduced the concept of synchronicity, which refers to meaningful coincidences that occur in our lives. You know those moments when everything seems to align perfectly, as if by magic. Jung suggested that these aren't random occurrences, but potentially orchestrated by your higher self, subtly shaping your reality and guiding you towards your true path. So, how can you connect with this wise inner captain? Jung proposed several practical methods. One is active imagination, a technique where you engage in a sort of waking dream. You allow images and scenarios to unfold in your mind without judgment, facilitating a dialogue with your higher self. It's like giving your inner wisdom a stage to perform on. Journaling is another powerful tool. By regularly writing down your thoughts, dreams, and experiences, you create a record of your inner world. Over time, patterns may emerge that provide insights into your higher self's guidance. It's like decoding a message from your deepest self. Mindfulness practices can also help quiet the chatter of your ego, allowing the softer voice of your higher self to be heard. By learning to observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them, you create space for deeper insights to surface. As you engage more with your higher self, you might find yourself making decisions more intuitively. You may feel a clearer sense of purpose, as if you're aligning more closely with your authentic self. It's like tuning into a radio frequency that's always been there, but you've only just learned how to listen to. Remember, connecting with your higher self isn't about ignoring your ego or everyday consciousness. It's about creating a balance, allowing your ego to handle the practical aspects of life, while your higher self provides the wisdom and direction for your overall journey. Jung believed that by fostering this connection, we could live more fulfilling lives, making choices that align with our true nature rather than just responding to external pressures or fears. It's about becoming the captain of your own ship, with your higher self as your trusted navigator. The dance of integration. You've learned to captain your ship, but have you mastered the art of internal diplomacy? Picture this: a round table where your ego and higher self finally sit down to negotiate. The stakes? Nothing less than the authentic expression of your truest self. This is where Jung's concept of individuation comes into play. It's not about choosing sides between your ego and higher self, but rather bringing them into harmony. Think of it as piecing together a puzzle of your potential, with the higher self acting as both the guide and the destination of this journey. Jung believed that true fulfillment and authenticity can only be achieved by embracing all aspects of ourselves, including those we'd rather keep hidden. It's like shining a light into the darkest corners of your psyche, acknowledging the shadows that lurk there. This process isn't always comfortable, but it's essential for growth. Imagine you're at a crossroads in your career. Your ego, ever practical, pushes for the safe option, the steady paycheck and social approval. But your higher self whispers of a riskier path, one that aligns with your deepest passions. This inner conflict isn't a sign of indecision. It's the start of a transformative dialogue. The integration process can be challenging. It often involves facing aspects of ourselves we've long ignored or denied, our shadow side. This could be confronting our fears, acknowledging our weaknesses, or recognizing patterns of behavior that no longer serve us. It's like cleaning out a cluttered attic, dusty, sometimes overwhelming, but ultimately freeing. Life, through this lens, becomes a journey of self-discovery. Each challenge, each moment of synchronicity serves as a stepping stone towards alignment with your true self. Remember those meaningful coincidences we talked about earlier? They're not just random occurrences, but potentially signposts guiding you towards your authentic path. Have you ever noticed how some experiences, even difficult ones, seem to teach you exactly what you needed to learn? That's your higher self at work, orchestrating opportunities for growth and self-realization. It's like you're the protagonist in a story written by the wisest part of yourself. Now, it's important to acknowledge that Jung's ideas aren't without controversy. Critics argue that concepts like the collective unconscious and synchronicity lack empirical evidence, viewing them as more mystical than scientific. And that's okay. Jung himself encouraged a balance between skepticism and openness, urging us to explore our inner worlds while maintaining a grounded perspective. Despite the debates, many people find that Jung's concepts resonate deeply on a personal level. They report transformative experiences through engaging with these ideas, finding new meaning and purpose in their lives. It's like discovering a new language that finally allows you to express thoughts and feelings you've always had but couldn't articulate. So how can you start this process of integration? Begin by paying attention to your inner world. Notice when you're making decisions out of fear or social conditioning rather than genuine desire. These moments of inner conflict are often signposts pointing towards growth opportunities. Try keeping a journal of your dreams and daily experiences. Over time, you might start to notice patterns emerging, recurring themes or symbols that offer insights into your psyche. It's like becoming an archaeologist of your own mind, unearthing hidden treasures of self-knowledge. Mindfulness practices can also help quiet the chatter of your ego, creating space for the softer voice of your higher self to be heard. It's about learning to listen, not just with your ears, but with your entire being. Remember, the goal isn't to silence your ego or to live solely by the guidance of your higher self. It's about creating a harmonious relationship between the two, allowing each to play its proper role in your life's journey, embracing your whole self. As we wrap up our journey into the depths of your psyche, remember this: the dance between your ego and higher self is the key to unlocking your true potential. It's like having a wise inner guide, always nudging you towards your authentic path. Have you ever noticed those meaningful coincidences in your life? Those might just be messages from your higher self, subtly shaping your reality. Pay attention to these moments, to your dreams, to those gut feelings that seem to come out of nowhere. They're all part of a bigger picture. By tuning into this inner wisdom, you're tapping into a universal source of knowledge and experience. It's like having access to a cosmic library, full of insights just waiting to be discovered. So, what might change in your life if you started listening to your higher self more often? The answer could be truly transformative.